this live stream. This is really special, very, very special time. A very unexpected situation for me, and frankly, it really feels very emotional. Um, and what's going on? What's going on is what I'm showing you here. Uh, I'm going to see if I can turn the camera around in a minute. But right now, uh, this is live. Yeah. So this is really incredible. Look at this. This is right here in Shenyang, where I am, our airport, my hometown. I had no idea, my wife's hometown, where we live here. Uh, okay, so this is really a big deal because this has just been uh, a important event and colliding of worlds that has hit my mind. Unbelievable, and hit my heart. I mean, I feel very emotional about this. I'm gonna turn it around, and I don't even know what I look like. I'm gonna. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Yeah. Hey, guys. So I'll switch back and forth. This is a very important live stream because for those of you, if you don't know me, but most, I think, if you're here, you know me. Um, this story goes back 70 years, the story of the Korean War, and it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me because, number one, back when I was a kid, I'm going back a half a century, folks. My dad served in the Korean War. So as a child, what did I know about it? I only knew what I knew about it, right? And my dad knew what he knew about it, which is that, oh yeah, there's some bad people in the Korean Peninsula, and we got to go get them. Okay. Occasionally, the live stream will disconnect and reconnect, so I will pause because I'm in China. The signal bandwidth is not that tight. So when that happens, I will pause and then continue. So, as this current Afghanistan situation reminds us, I'm hopeful because Biden said that this move out of Afghanistan, President Biden stated that this move out of Afghanistan represents much more than just the move out of Afghanistan. It represents America's understanding that it needs to not get involved in trying to change countries via the military, via war. So, okay, good. Good. I mean, that's great to hear that they might be finally waking up to that after 7 decades. And where did it all begin? The Korean War. So as I just showed you. And I'm going to keep talking about this, but I want to show you what's on the screen because this is CGTN. This is right on the screen here. By the way, there's no copyright violation here on my part. I work with CGTN. They're happy for me to share what they're doing. So the amazing thing about this is that I didn't know. The amazing thing about this is that they are coming right here. I didn't know this until an hour ago. Right back here to the airport here in Shenyang. This is Yo Young, I believe is her name. This is the Shenyang Taoxian Airport. There they are. Well, folks, I'm 20 minutes from the Shenyang Taoxian Airport. I go there all the time. Trichutsaila, once, twice a month. So this is really something because I knew about the returns of the soldiers' remains, but I did not know I didn't remember reading, there's the plane in the background. I didn't realize it was to our airport right here in Shenyang. I'm kind of mad at CGTN for not putting together the piece. Again, pausing for the reconnect on the live stream. I'm speaking with CGTN and speaking with China Daily as well, because the anniversary is on September 18th. So I think we're going to get out there to the airport and do a show. It's important, and it's important because, you know, the third part I mentioned, obviously here we are now, the Korean War, the Chinese martyrs' remains being returned to China. This is a big deal. And I mentioned that, you know, 70 years earlier, on the other end, my father served in the Korean War. Now, he didn't see any action, which is thankful, but, you know, he was there as well as a proud member of the military, doing the best of what he knows is his duty, right? You know, which is why war is so sad. Both sides, that's what's going on. But the third part of the story is, you know, what happened to me, which was such a dichotomy, such a situation of two worlds colliding. And that was the fact that, you know, a year and a half ago, I became very well known in China. I became a public figure in China, and I still am, bigger than ever. I'm thankful for that. And it was because I was so pro-China, because of that article that I wrote, right? Something's not right here, folks. Go read it on LinkedIn, which was questioning why there would be all of this criticism of China over the virus outbreak in comparison to 2009, where the H1N1 outbreak, which began in the United States, well, nobody blamed the United States. Nobody started hating on the United States. So this was my commentary in that article, which then went viral all over the world and all over China. It's a great story that really changed my life. And then, that was February 5th, 2020. And then at the end of 2020, as if, you know, to present me with the complete opposite, you know, I'm going to give you hey, Kevin, I'm going to give you an even better view of that, right? Further up, there's an even better view of the aircraft. Yeah. So the story, no, and we're reconnecting. Hang on, I'll continue telling you the story in a second. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there's a nice shot. There you go, Kevin, look at that. So at the end of 2020, I was asked to do something the exact opposite of supporting and being pro-China, which was to play General MacArthur, General Douglas MacArthur. I'm going to turn the screen around. I want to talk to you guys about this. I mean, this is just incredible. You know, the beginning of the year, I became known in China for supporting China. And then at the end, and I got this little shadow thing over here. I'll just accept it for what it is. It's not bothering anybody. And then at the end of the year, I get contacted by China's movie industry, one of my agents, and said, they want you to play General MacArthur, General Douglas MacArthur, in the most important Korean War TV series ever. I was like, wow. Now, I've done roles before. I'm happy to do them. And I've done, in fact, in 2016, 17, I did 3 roles. Each role was quite large in China's Diensuji, right, TV series. But like most of the time when you're doing good acting work in China, though, it's not necessarily the most important prime time show. So those TV series went on, and they're very popular. But prime time is prime time, baby, right? Everybody knows that. So here in China, prime time is CCTV 1. You know, there's 20 CCTV channels all over the country. And then there's also all the regional channels. So this Korean TV war series was crossing the Yalu River, which in Chinese is Kwa Yalu Jiang, meaning the Yalu River right there, which was the border of North Korea and China, which here in the north where we live, Shenyang, is a 3-hour drive away to the city of Dandong. Okay? It's a very nice university in Dandong as well. So they contacted me to play. I mean, this was the and live stream reconnecting. You know, General MacArthur along with President Truman, right? So that's the story, and it's an incredible story. Well, I don't have to tell you, you know, I had to do my job well. Hey, Voltaire, how you doing? I had to do my job well and research what was going on with the Korean War. And then you come to understand that the Korean War was the very first time that was the beginning of the U.S. post-World War II warmongering, where they started getting themselves involved in other countries. First it was Korea, right? Then after that, what followed was, you know, into the 60s, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. I mean, it's all just, this was the whole thing, right? U.S. getting involved in these small countries and going in and decimating them. So we all know the history, and it's very sad. So all of this was brought home to me in stark emotions when I was asked to play MacArthur, because, you know, he's the guy that, you know, and people ask me to repeat my line all the time, you know, we're going to destroy the Chinese once and for all. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, that didn't work out so well. Okay. We're gonna blow up all the bridges across the Yalu River Bridge. Yeah, Yalu River. Okay. You know, so they massacred over 1 billion North Koreans, you know, men, women, and children. They basically flattened and decimated the place. And we've seen it again and again in Aleppo, right? Syria, Libya. I don't need to go on. I don't want to go on about it. It's unfortunate. We all know it's out there. And it hopefully is going to finally start coming to a stop, as Biden said, with them finally getting their butts out of Afghanistan. So I'm watching this story these last few days, and it just blows my mind, because there's another part to the story, and I'll tell you in a moment. So it just blows my mind, because I'm pursuing this story. I'm looking at it, and I was going to write about it. Live stream reconnecting. Okay. So I saw that there was articles about it, of course. It's close to me. My life here in China, it's like something's playing out. You know, something's playing out. Me playing, you know, me being so pro-China and so happy about all the great things China's doing. And then they asked me to play MacArthur. Wow. Contrast, you know, and my dad being in the Korean War. So it's very emotional for me. Okay, fine. So then I'm looking, and I see the video at CGTN, and I go, okay, so it says live. And I go, live. All right. So, and it was live earlier today. So this is just a replay, what I've been showing you. Here again, I'll switch to it, right? So there it is, right? Remains of 109 Chinese martyrs in Korean War returning to China. And then I'm watching this thing, and she says, here, returning here at Shenyang Taoxiang Airport. I was like, whoa, I didn't know that part of the story. It's right here where I am. Folks, I'm literally a 20-minute car drive to the Shenyang Taoxiang Airport. We live in Hunan district, the south side of Shenyang, 20 minutes from the airport. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. I didn't realize, I mean, you could understand the value, the importance, the meaning, the heartfelt emotion that's related to the return of the remains of these Chinese soldiers. But I didn't think about where. I didn't realize that the military transport plane, and there it is, was bringing them into Shenyang. I thought, well, I assumed they were flying into Beijing. Nope. Nope. Right here, I mean, so I feel like my fate, my destiny, man, how I ended up here in Shenyang. Just the emotional connections and the connections to history, the contrast between China and the United States, and here it's here in Shenyang, and I'm here, and then these, and again, live stream reconnecting. I feel it's just an emotional bunch of bombs coming at me. You know, my fate to be here in Shenyang with my wonderful wife. It's her hometown, and like I'm unraveling all this karma that I got, that God threw me in. That's how I feel. I'm being honest. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit crazy. I don't think I am at all. I think we're all following our destinies, right? And so here I am doing that. So I found out that the plane is here. I'm looking again. The plane's here to Shenyang Airport, and where we live. Geez, I just couldn't believe it. Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. And they're doing the whole thing. You know, they're doing the ceremony and the escorting, you know, showing honor to the soldiers, as any country would do, right? As any country would do. And again, you know, including the U.S. soldiers and the international soldiers who lost their lives fighting for what they believed in, fighting for their countries. You know, this has got to stop, right? This has got to stop. And this is what I want you to realize. This is what I want to say. It's got to stop, right? And who am I? I'm just one person saying it's got to stop. There's so many people in the world out there saying the same thing. Whether you're in politics or not has nothing to do with it. We need the world to be good and positive, right? In fact, there's another story about important Chinese citizens returning to Shenyang Airport, which I'll share with you, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Last year, it was the healthcare workers, the medical workers. Now, what an amazing story, how Shenyang, how the Chinese healthcare workers, they say over 30,000 from all over the country, were called to duty to get the outbreak under control in Wuhan. I mean, that's what it took to get the outbreak under control in Wuhan. It was nasty. And live stream or reconnecting. 30,000 healthcare workers from all over the country, in addition to all the healthcare workers that were, and you know, doctors, nurses, etc., who were already in Wuhan, where they were overwhelmed. And 3 months later, China created the world-class case of how to control COVID. And to this day, China is the world-class case of how to control COVID, even Delta. And Kevin mentioned, what were you saying? It was the PLA, the Y-20. That military aircraft, Kevin, is called a Y-20. Wow, amazed. And a whole fleet of them was used flying the healthcare workers into Wuhan, back to get the outbreak under control. Well, then the other side of the story about Shenyang Airport was that I was here to watch the parade 3 months later, and the announcement came out that the medical workers from Shenyang who had gone to Wuhan were returning as heroes to Shenyang, and of course to other cities from which they'd come all over the world, all over the country, to defeat the outbreak, to defeat China, to defeat the virus here in China. What a great story. You know, and that story, to commemorate that, is the reason my third book exists. That's the reason I published my third book. I'll show it to you here in a second. I just thought of that. I didn't do this live stream to plug the book. You can't buy it anyway because it's only in Hong Kong, hardcover, and here in China. So you can't get to it yet until we do more printings. What an incredible story. So it was here at Shenyang Airport, my friend Wang Qing, my friend Bill, he said to me, hey, Mario, the healthcare workers are flying back today. And so they were flying back. They were being honored as heroes all over the country. They flew back to Shenyang Airport. They were escorted by formal official bus tour up to Qingnian, across the Qingnian Bridge and up Qingnian Dajie in a formal thank you parade to commemorate their work as heroes. That was the healthcare workers. Reconnecting the live stream. And here I am again talking about Shenyang Taoxian Airport again, and this time to remember where the remains of the Chinese soldiers from the Korean War are being returned to their country, to their families. So that whole story is right here. That's why I wrote this book. This is not a business book about China. This is not an economics book about China. This is a commemorative book about China. And I thank Director Guan, my dear friend Bill Wang Qing, and Skylark Publishing Hong Kong for pushing through to get this published. And also Sophie and Shine, who were the editors, the main editors, who did a fantastic job. And this book, I want to sell 1 million. I want to sell 10 million of these because it's the story. It's not an economics business book about China. That book is the story of what China did from January to June to beat COVID, to show the world how to beat COVID. Now, I'm sorry if the rest of the world is not listening or watching and won't learn, but China did it. China identified the virus. China showed the world how to handle it. Good, smart government policies, cooperative citizens, doing what you need to do to serve, everybody doing their part to serve the community and to serve the society. Well, with all the right and wrong of it all, that's what it is. And there's too much sadness involved in this war stuff. Here we are again, Shenyang Airport today, military, the remains of these Chinese military soldiers being returned. And I'm going to show it to you. There they are, the urns, right? Because they were cremated. And there they are, the urns. And the United States, again, live stream reconnecting. The United States and every other country, they all have their fallen heroes. And my dad, who served in the Korean War, again, he wasn't killed in the Korean War. He didn't serve active in the shooting on the front line. Whew. I'm moving on to happy stuff, and you need to know that. And this is a very, very serious point. And I mentioned it in another live stream I did earlier with Fernando today. There's another episode coming out sometime tomorrow. And I'm making this pivot to telling the stories of the best companies, building the brands and telling the stories and the positive stories of what's happening here in China. Because I'm in a very unique position. I'm up here in Liaoning province. I'm up here in the northeast, in the middle of the country, in the north, out in the middle. It's like we're in our own separate country up here. And it's such a unique and amazing and wonderful place. People, all the other foreigners who live up here, which is a lot of the Germans and Europeans because of BMW and Audi, and a lot of the school teachers, all the foreigners that are here at the international schools, we all meet and we're all just like, we all tell each other, we love living here. We love being here in Shenyang. It somehow is this amazing, deep, blessed place. and it's also quite far everywhere. I mean, it's 800 kilometers even just from Beijing. Though there is now the Gautier fastest train from Shenyang to Beijing is now only 2 hours and 40 minutes. So it's amazing transport to do business. Oh, and that's for $50, by the way. 800 kilometers from Shenyang to Beijing in 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's 500 miles for those of you who want a conversion. 500 miles in a little over 2.5 hours for 50 bucks. 500 miles for 50 bucks in 2.5 hours on a, by the way, really nice high-speed train. I mean, these trains are brand new, beautiful. The last one I was on had USB jacks in the back of the seat in front of you, so you could put in the USB wire, plug in your phone or whatever, you know, charge your phone, whatever you're doing. Isn't that amazing? So I'm moving on to the great, amazing, positive stories. And, you know, my English name, Mario, my Chinese name, Mai Jun, but the way to split the two there is to call me and cover both cultures is Mr. Ma. You know, Mr. Ma, and disconnected and reconnected. Thinking about the so many incredible things that Mr. Ma has done over these 21 years here in China. What a time I've had. What an amazing time. Not always easy. Amazing, blessed, on the ground, the real world of China. And in terms of the business, you know, M Communications Group. I mean, basically, we're a boutique communications agency, right? I mean, what do I do for Huawei, right? As a member of their Thought Leader program. How fortunate I am. They invited me to be on their global thought leader platform. And what do I do for them along with the other thought leaders? You know, we write articles and do videos, attend their events to talk about what's happening. We helping to build the brand and tell the stories, the real stories of what's happening. The last article I just wrote was about the semiconductor industry, a little update about what's happening in the semiconductors and the chip shortage situation. So go read that over on LinkedIn as well, okay? So I'm so excited now. I'm pivoting to the positive. Pivoting to the positive because it's all about building the brands and telling the stories. And that sounds so good to me. It sounds so wonderful and positive. And up here in Liaoning province, I've got a new member on the team. Her name is Yan Rhodes. She's UK Chinese. She's here now. Her family's from here, and she's very, very talented business person. And she's on the team, and she introduced me to Professor Lee, whose English name is Happy Lee, and he is a wonderful, happy guy. And he is responsible. He teaches business people and government officials at the government college. And he's also responsible for identifying and promoting the best brands of Liaoning province. Now, Liaoning is a beautiful province. You need to know that. It's as beautiful as Zhejiang. You know, Hangzhou, Zhejiang, everyone says it's so beautiful. Well, it is. We lived there for 2 years. It is beautiful, okay? Yeah, Professor Happy Lee, really true. L-I, not L-E-E. But yeah, it's Professor Happy Lee. And people don't know that Liaoning province here is just as beautiful. Again, the live stream disconnecting and we're back. We get in the car and we travel. We lived in Hangzhou. We'd get in the car and we would travel from Shanghai and Hangzhou east over to Moganshan, further east over to Anji, beautiful bamboo forest where they filmed Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, the first international amazing modern Chinese movie to be a smash hit, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, remember? And that was filmed in Anji, east of Shanghai, northeast of Hangzhou. And then as you're heading down south into Zhejiang, it's beautiful, down toward the Thousand Island Lakes. Beautiful. And we used to go all the time. We'd jump in the car on the weekends and go. What a great time. And now here in Liaoning, we're doing the same thing. We jump in the car, we go driving around Liaoning. It's more farmland, a lot of cornfields. and beautiful low rolling hills. It's so beautiful, it's so charming, it's so amazing. And it gets verdant as you travel south, more verdant, toward the coast of the Bohai Sea and over to the southeast, and you hit the Yalu River and Dandong, the border of North Korea. Unbelievable story. Unbelievable location. Only 2.5 hours. Okay? A little bit more than that. Driving fast, 2.5 hours, right? So I discovered north 41 degrees latitude, and now I'm going to work with these people at north 41 degrees latitude. We're building the brands, we're telling the stories. What the heck are you talking about, Mario? What's at north 41 degrees latitude? Heaven for growing grapes. North 41 degrees latitude, folks. That's where you grow fabulous grapes all over the world. It doesn't matter what country you're in, it's north 41 degrees latitude. It's verdant and it's freaking cold in the wintertime. And the I went and was invited by Yan and Happy Lee, Professor Lee, to visit this orchard, to visit this wine vineyard, the Tai Long Lin wine vineyard. Wow. They make ice wine. They ferment ice wine. That's what they do. And because in the cold of winter, the wine, the grapes are frozen. Who's making all that noise? Okay, so I got to put the winter and disconnected live stream interruption, and we're back. The frozen grapes, the freezing cold northeast winter, the frozen grapes make, that's true, ice wine. No added ingredients, none whatsoever. Okay? Who is clicking? Driving me crazy. Just stop. You know, just stop. Ugh. I'm going to shut the volume. Hang on, guys. I'm going to shut the volume down. Okay. Just annoying me in the background while I'm trying to talk to you, and I keep hearing that noise. WeChat on my computer. Right? So, the Tai Long Lin wine vineyard doing ice wine at 41 degrees north latitude. I'm just like, wow. So I'm making a deal with Mr. Tai. We're going to do 10,000 bottles private label. Mr. Ma's Bin 88 private label wine selection. Mr. Ma's Bin 88. We're going to talk to the craft beer guy nearby there and here too in Liaoning, and we're going to do Mr. Ma's Batch 88 craft beer. It's time to start how do I say? Just having more fun, enjoying and appreciating, building the brands, and telling the stories. The stories of all the things happening here in Liaoning province, here in our lives in Shenyang, here in China. I'm pivoting more and more to those things. It's Mr. Ma's epic China adventures. And that's what it's been for 21 years. And now we're going to take it to the next level. So I'm ending it on that happy, amazing note. And I'll finish there. Fernando and I have our next War on China episode. It will come out tomorrow. This live stream's going up. I hope you like what we're doing. Hope you like what I'm doing. Please do subscribe, hit the notifications button, share my channel with other people. I appreciate it. Leave your comments down below. I'll get to answering them later. And appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Be safe, be wise. God bless everybody. See you. I'm going to get offline now.